Hello friends, today I have a quick tip for you how to make your Toll song sound better on acoustic guitar. The acoustic guitar, or guitars in general, are not perfect instruments when it comes to intonation. I'm playing an Orangewood Mason Live here, and this guitar actually does have very good intonation, even though it's a relatively cheap guitar. I have tuned this guitar already. I have the capo on the 3rd fret, and I tuned all the strings with my high-resolution studio tuner. The individual open strings should be very, very close to the actual notes that they should be. So when I strum an E chord, sounds great. When I strum an A chord, sounds great. When I strum a C chord, sounds great. All those sound good. But when I strum a D chord, it doesn't sound so good. And this is one of the things that drives me crazy, and it must drive Ian Anderson crazy as well. Because his songs are so involved with a D shape, he never tunes his high E string up to concert pitch. He always tunes it a little bit flat, with the open string a little flat, so that the D chord sounds better. That's because when you've got the E string open and it's on pitch, the note on the 2nd fret above the nut or above the capo will always be a little bit sharp. And I'm going to demonstrate that now. For me, it's easy to hear the intervals of fourths and particularly fifths as being in or out of tune. I hear those intervals the best. So when I'm tuning a guitar, I'm always looking for the fourths or the fifths. I'm going to play a fifth with my finger fretting the G string here on the 2nd fret above the capo. And I'm going to play the open E at the same time, so that's an interval of a fifth. And you hear that that's in perfect, that's about perfect intonation. Sounds great. But when I fret the high E string on the 2nd fret, all of a sudden it doesn't sound so good. And that's because, once again, this always happens on every guitar. The note that you play here on the 1st high E string on the 2nd fret above the nut or above the capo is always going to be a little bit sharp. What I do, if I'm going to be playing mostly out of the D shape, once again, it doesn't matter if I'm playing mostly E chords, A chords, C chords, and G chords and things. But if I'm playing mostly out of a D position, which most of Ian Anderson's songs are concentrated around this D position, or D shape, I should call it. What we're going to do is we're going to flatten the E string a little bit. Now I think you can pretty clearly hear that it's a little out of tune now. Except when I fret it now, it sounds much better. And when I strum the D chord, it sounds much better. Now compare that once again to when it's tuned all the way up. Okay, that's tuned. Now the D chord, once again, it doesn't sound very good. So Ian never plays a D chord with the E string tuned all the way up. He always flattens it a bit so it'll sound good. Now the trick here is to not make the other chords sound terrible. If we flatten it too much, we get a great sounding D chord, but we get a lousy sounding A chord. So what we're going to do here is we're going to compromise between the two. We're going to tune it up to where it's only a little bit flat. Now it's just a bit flat. Our A chord sounds okay, and our D chord sounds okay. It's just a little bit flat with the A chord, but it sounds good on the D chord. So that's a tip, because once again his songs are so concentrated on a D-shaped chord. Make the high E string very slightly flat, like Ian always does on the recordings, and your D chords will sound much better. So there's my tip for the day. Talk to you later. Bye.